So now I'm on my 7th week of absolutely having no meat, no sugar, no alcohol, and all the rest of it. But it's more about my financial health now. So obviously, the journey is all about a complete journey, right from the physical to the financial, mental, and going on to the spiritual world. So obviously, there's a lot to discuss, and I'll be, discussing these things in a bit later on. Really excited. So yeah, we'll be getting into this shortly. Hi everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ritesh Chawla. This channel is specifically created just to share my life journey and maybe if I could help anybody along the way, which obviously are, facing the problems with their physical health, financial, mental or spiritual health. So really, apart from this, I do run a successful business called Made to Measure. So if you want to really go to madetomeasure.co.uk, you will see what we do. Essentially, we specialize in home improvements and fitted furniture. So when I say home improvements, we do extensions, loft conversions, home refurbs, side extensions. And when it comes to fitted furnitures, we do like kitchens, fitted wardrobes, understay units, any kind of really fitted furniture within a house. So that's about that. Apart from this, I do run a small IT company, which is run remotely. It's called itworld.london. What it does is it really helps customer to utilize their digital presence and maximize their sales. So we help customers in either, obviously, it depends what they're struggling with. It could be search engine optimization or Google My Business listings, and obviously having their online presence and making sure they're converting the leads and really helping them with the CRM, which could also be a very good tool for businesses who really need help. So that's about this, and stay tuned for the rest of the video. So let's start with the actual body vitals. So starting with blood glucose, as you can see that I've had a massive 6.3 to start with, which is pre-diabetic essentially. And now this week my blood sugar has come on a little bit as compared to last week, 5.6. But again, 5.6 is also not pre-diabetic. It's well under the normal conditions, which is just about 100 in the other terms of mmol by deciliters. So yeah, I'm okay with this actually. Blood pressure, again, it's getting better and better. As of today, I've got 123 by 83, which is fine. I mean, I need to be below 120. So let's just carry on and see how it's going to be next week. Now, by the way, I haven't started exercising just yet. So obviously I need to be exercising to make more sense out of all this. Heart rate is 61, which is fine. Now, body weight has gone up. It's gone to 79.9. I mean, yes, I have still reduced in a grand scheme of things because I started with 83.9, but still I think 79.9 is almost like a 700 grams jump from my last week, which was 73.3. So obviously why? I mean, I think now the idea was never about reducing weight. I mean, of course it is about reducing weight, but it was never about, getting a weight loss done. I mean, this is more of an experiment really. So I wanted to understand and get rid of the habits which are absolutely not right for the body, which is consuming sugar on a daily basis, smoking every few hours, or having meat every time, and having alcohol all the time. So obviously the idea was just to get rid of the bad habits, and losing weight was more of a added benefit. But yes, I want to carry on losing weight. But what happened this week? Well, I think what has happened this week is my body has started to find a new source of energy or excessive calories. So obviously, I'll probably be having more carbohydrates, more fat-based things because there's no sugar as such in our diet. So that's another reason. I think the way I'm going to tackle this problem is from this week onwards, I'm going to focus more on mindful eating, really understanding and sitting with my food and really having what I need, and then see how it goes, and maybe adding a bit of exercise today as well. So yeah, so that's all my body vitamins. Right, so how do I feel? Interesting. If you obviously have seen already that my weight has increased a little bit. I mean, see, the whole idea was that I'm not doing this to lose weight, and that wasn't the idea. The idea was to get rid of some of the nasty habits I've been carrying on with me, like smoking every few hours, having too much sugar, um, and other bits, alcohol and all the rest of it. So obviously, yes, I wasn't really impressed that I had a weight gain. Bit disheartening, but I understand why though, because if you actually look at it, once you kind of stay away from these things for a while, your body is craving for something, right? And I think what I've understood is the past couple of weeks, my habits have stabilized. I don't get sugar or alcohol or smoking cravings, but what essentially is happening is my body's now looking out for fat. So when I say fat, means any fatty content, anything which has got more fat content, my body, or maybe carbohydrates, my body would tend to consume more. So now the next week onwards, I'm going to be focusing on this week onwards, I'm going to be focusing is mindful eating. Bang on. Mindful eating means be aware of how much food I need while I eat, or the other way around to it, absolutely focusing on what I'm eating, which means single focus eating. That means when I'm eating from now on, I'll not be doing multiple things like watching TV or doing something on the internet. I'll just sit with myself and absolutely enjoy the food and control on what I eat. So let's talk about my financial health now. So obviously I'm on week 7 now. I've identified the problems and this is what I'm going to be doing. So I've actually found out that there's some key areas I'll be focusing on in the next couple of weeks and then automating that. So the first one is absolutely important is my earnings and expenditure. So the next 6 months, I've kind of made a budget. So I'm going to be focusing on how much am I earning, and if I can increase that earning, I would love to share these numbers in details. But I think because of confidentiality, I can't be, sharing it on a screen with everybody. But more than if you're really interested and want to see how I'm gonna bounce back and reverse everything, just be in touch with me, and I'm more than happy to share these documents along with you, and maybe I can help anybody in this journey. So I'll be focusing on my earnings and outgoings. So what am I going to be earning on a monthly basis, and how much am I going to be spending, and then splitting it down to some key areas. One more important thing is emergency fund. So what I'll be doing is splitting some of that earning into an emergency fund. I mean, this is going to give me a peace of mind that I've got something always as a backup. So obviously bringing my earnings, making sure the expenditures are getting paid, and splitting some of that in an emergency fund. The other areas I'll be focusing on is really making a budget, a financial sense of what problems have I got, which is the debt, what am I going to do about it, which is what I'm looking at the screen. Yeah, so what am I going to do about it, and what's my plan for the next 6 months. So a budget is really, really crucial for me to get things organized. And I don't have a format. I don't want to make a format. So if you want to be in touch with me, I'm more than happy to share the things I'm going to be doing. Is the reason I don't want to have internet format is I want to be applying my thinking brains, and everybody's so different. So I want to use my own way of tackling my problems and bouncing back and reversing all the debt which I've collected. So let's see what I can do. The next point is obviously, just making a plan of the total debt, which I've mentioned, like just over 40 grand, 40,000 pounds, making a plan for managing this debt. So addressing the elephant in the room and saying, what am I going to do for the next 6 months, or what are my immediate actions for the next 3 months, and what am I going to do to tackle this. So the next part, obviously, I'll be focusing on is absolutely avoiding any further debt. That is really important. So obviously, I'll be focusing on making sure that I'm not getting into absolutely no debt, whether it's an asset or a liability. Put that aside. I need to focus on my financial health, bring it back to zero, and then get some credit in my life, and then go back to analyzing or investing on any assets as such. So absolutely no debt. The other areas I'll be focusing on is making my own personal plan for the next 3 to 6 months. So if you remember, I shared it in the last video that my aim is to obviously reverse the 40 grand and put another 20 grand in credit. So that's 60 grand, which is 60,000 pounds in about 6 months. It's a huge mountain of a goal, and I think I've got a plan to achieve it. So obviously you can be in touch with me because I don't want to share my numbers on a screen just here. So yeah, so and the most important thing I need to be doing in the next 6 months, absolutely drilling down and understanding what assets and liabilities are. I've been already started reading some financial books, so obviously I'll be doing a bit of reading all across the next 6 months. But then, yeah, really understanding the liabilities I've got, killing them off one by one, like credit cards, and the list goes on and on. I'm sure a lot of us are buried under the credit cards. So obviously, and then absolutely destroying them and then focusing on the assets part of thing, and maybe not spending anything straight away, but in the next 6 months, so growing the assets as such.